Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I am doing my November plan with me, which, can you believe it, we are almost at the end of 2018, but we're still 2 months away technically, so I'm not even going to get to that. I do want to apologize and say I'm sorry that this is a little bit late, or maybe a lot late, since it was supposed to post on Saturday, but nevertheless, it's here, and my theme is sugar skulls. I wanted to represent a little bit of my culture this month, which I normally don't do in my bullet journal because I want everybody to kind of enjoy the bullet journal or how I post it for everybody and get that idea. But this month I did want to be a little bit more personal, and I decided with the sugar skulls because they represent a day or a celebration, or more of a remembrance in my culture, to remember those that have passed and not let them go and keep their memory alive. And this month is all really about that, about keeping them here with us. And I got very deep all of a sudden, but I just wanted to let you guys know why I had chose this. I know this is out of the box and it probably doesn't fit the whole theme of November because many people, celebrate Thanksgiving, but this kind of falls right between Halloween and November, or the 1st of November and the 2nd, because the Day of the Dead ends on the 2nd. So I wanted to just put my culture in this. Plus, I was missing my colors. I really was. After October and having the chandeliers, I needed some color, and this just gave me a perfect excuse because the Day of the Dead makes it all about colors, and these sugar skulls just need all that color, and I loved it. This title page that you guys see is just something that I kind of picked up. I saw a lot of pictures and I just went on to Google and I put sugar skulls and they all kind of popped up. I chose very different colors. I went with purples, light blues, greens, vibrant pinks, dark pinks, and then even some teal. I didn't stray from color use. All the designs that I did were somewhat mine, and then some things that I would see on the internet. As for the font, I kind of went and did a little research as well, and I think every calligraphy is different and every type of font is different when you look up sugar skulls and fonts in the Day of the Dead. And I kind of fell with this one. I had seen it here and now and in different places, and I really loved it. It was really simple to do, and I loved it. You just kind of lower one letter and topple another one, and I followed along this pattern with all of the titles that I did within the bullet journal, and I kind of moved them around as I wanted them to as well. And I kept this pattern of the colors red, orange, green, yellow, pink, fuchsia, and then red again, and I followed that along the whole bullet journal as well. With my monthly planner, this took me the longest time because I went a little extra, okay? So when I did the title, I decided that I wanted to have a border that kind of mimics the ideas that I had seen online, and I found one which was in particularly my favorite, which was this swirled type of wave, and I followed it around all of the month at a glance, and it just, I don't know, it just did something to me. I actually love how it turned out. It was a pain to do because you have to move, and you'll see in a minute how I maneuver my bullet journal, because as much as I wanted to do this as straight as possible for you guys, there were a couple of times where I could keep messing up, and it just did not look ideal for me. But I think with me messing up on the curve of the actual little wave that I am putting throughout the border, it actually makes it look a lot better and more authentic to me, and that it is hand drawn and that I'm taking the time to do it. And I feel like sometimes I want to be so perfect with my bullet journal that I forget that this is about me and how I'm personalizing it myself, which is why I also bit the bullet and kind of put my culture in it. Again, you don't have to, but this is just how I represent November and this month. It's a month to remember, and these little waves kind of made me think of that as well, that it's okay for you to mess up and fix things. It's just the little things, the little mistakes that make everyone who they are. And I love this border. I ended up thinking that I was not going to like it after I'd colored it in, and I ended up putting fuchsia, which was so ideal for me. It is one of my Crayola super tip markers, and It is a very shaded pink. It looks pink on the cap, but it is more fuchsia when you actually paint with it. So just to let you guys know, which one of these days I would like to just put them in order and kind of name them all, because Crayola doesn't do that. It would be nice, you know, so I could tell you, hey, it's this number. But all's good. We work with what we have. By the way, the pens that I am using are the Faber-Castell F pen and a Prisma Fine liner, which is the 01, which is a very thin one, which you see me using while I was doing the lines inside the month. And anytime that I used any type of detail that I felt my Faber-Castell F pen was too big for, I went in with the Prisma and I colored it in. And I didn't use any other ones except those two pens where I alternate back and forth. You really can't stray me away from my Faber-Castell pens. I love them so much. But I always link them down below. You don't have to get them, but I just enjoy them a lot because when I am coloring, I feel like they don't smear as much as other pens that I have tried. And I enjoy using them a lot, quite a lot actually. I think my favorite one is my N1, and I lost it, and now I have to buy one. But anyways, not that I have to tell you guys that. You'll see me going through this, and this is the fuchsia pink that I told you guys about. Again, the cap is pink than it normally is, but it is a little bit more fuchsia. And I did this all around the border, and I colored the outside of it so that the white was the actual wave. And I noticed that I did something backwards in the bottom, but I ended up loving it anyways. The simple mistakes, but I do love them. Then I went ahead and I did my November, and I colored it in the same way that I did with my title page. I did all the different colors and just alternated back and forth with all of them and just kept repeating the pattern. And I also did this font, which has, it's more like a structured, it looks like a typewriting. That's what I think it looks like. And I did this with all my numbers as well, which is why they're so big. And then I went ahead and I colored in my sugar skulls and all the little designs that I put around the border, because I felt like if I had just done the border, it was going to be too bland and just one color, and I wanted the sugar skulls to still make a presence in it. So I went ahead and I did all that. And then the flowers, I just alternated the colors back and forth, whatever I liked. Again, it's personal preference. You don't have to put the same colors. You can do this, even a lighter version of this. I just like the brightness of the colors because, again, I was missing my colors. I don't think I ever want to do the black and white theme anymore ever again. And if I talk myself into it, I'm probably going to talk myself out of it. I'll make myself watch this video. Next is my mood tracker, which, like the prior page, it was very detailed, but this one had a lot of sugar skulls. This one, each day I wanted one little piece of the Day of the Dead, you know, either the flower or the sugar skull, to represent the mood. So the more I color it in, or if I color it in, it represents that I had a good mood, and if I don't color it in, it means that I had a bad day. So I don't have a medium. I've noticed that when I'm just happy, I'm happy, and when I'm sad, I'm just sad, and when I'm blah, you know, right in the middle, I still think that that's leaning towards happy. So I don't like having those medium days where I'm just like, it's not a good day or it's not a bad day. It's just a day. I think that whether I want to or not, there is a bad or a good thing to each day. So I don't want to make myself represent that. I wanted to kind of be like, no, it's either going to be a good day or a bad day. And that's how I did it. I did mood at the bottom, and I kind of followed along with Coco with the font because I put the little circles in there, even though the font in Coco is a little bit more, how do I say it? It's bolder, and it's a little bit more graffiti-like because the words have a lot more width to them. And then I did these little tissue papers, which are more for telling a story. You can also cut them out, and they're more for design purposes, but I thought they were perfect for my trackers. I wanted to get back into the game of doing my trackers, so I went back to 6 and I wrote all of the things that I wanted to do for each one. And then when I color in, you'll see how I will probably fill these in for each day that I have a good day. I will color in a little box with the accented color that's in the border, which I did follow the same type of pattern I did with my title color scheme, if you could say. And I went ahead and I wrote the same type of font with the, I don't know how to explain it. It's the typewriter font. I'll call it that. And I love how this page look. It's very overwhelming, but I don't know. I needed this. I really needed the color, and I can't wait to fill all this in. And by the way, I will post my chandelier, which is finished, which I did finish, which I was very proud of myself. I did track every single day of my mood for the month of October, and I wanted you guys to see how that looks, because I did have a comment of somebody asking if I actually do use this, and I do. I use them every single month. I think the only month I did not use was June, and that was because I really didn't have a lot to do during that month. And please excuse my cat behind me. She is making a lot of noise right now. I don't know what's going on over there. I do have a cat. Her name is Athena, and she hasn't made a presence in my bullet journal, but you never know. I still have another month. She is being really feisty right now, but it is 11:30, and she probably thinks it's not time for bed, or she's just angry. But anyways, I am going ahead and coloring everything in, and again, I alternated with all of the colors when I was doing all these little figurines on the right hand side of my trackers. And that was it for these two. You'll see how I color in the rest later, of course, because you know those have to go by day. Next is my brain dump and budget, and like I said in last month, I don't want to use 2 pages for my brain dump, not only because I am running out of pages and I don't want to go and get another bullet journal just for my December bullet journal, just to start that one off and then not have any pages for the next year, which I am planning to do next year, bullet journal. So I don't want to start one off if I'm going to start one in a few months. So it just doesn't make sense for me. So anyways, my brain dump is on the left hand side. I haven't been using my brain dump a lot for some reason. I just, I do use it, but just not as much as I would want to. So I've minimize it to just half of a page like I did last month, and I went ahead and I did the same type of font. However, this time I actually did use like a capital B and a D, and the rest were lowercase, and I just used a couple of little designs here and there. And then my budget, I've actually been working on this a lot more with trying to categorize everything I'm using and try not to spend as much, because we all know that we shouldn't spend and we should save, and the older I'm getting, the more that I know that I should start saving a lot more money. But anyways, I went ahead and I did all those colors, and I separated each week for November, which is 5 weeks. And I think it's 5 weeks. I don't know if I added one by mistake, but it's okay. I can go into December and still count it as the 5th week, but I'm pretty sure it does have 5 weeks. And I can write everything down, and those lines kind of separate where each and where that time was spent, because you should kind of track where you are spending the most. Is it bills or is it just going out? So that's what I would like to do with my budget tracker. And next is my week 1. My week 1, I wanted to still pay a lot of attention to the theme with the sugar skulls, which I will carry on into the month, just not as much as I did for week 1. Week 1 has a lot of them in it, because this week was when represented the Day of the Dead, which runs from Wednesday, which was the 31st, all the way to Friday. And those are the 3 days which are mainly about the Day of the Dead. So I wanted this week to kind of represent that. And I also put a quote, which I will tell you guys in a second. Each skull that I did go into the internet and I looked up just a regular skull shaped, and then I designed each one myself. And I did take some ideas from the internet, but I didn't get all of them from there. All of them just kind of came to me as I was drawing them. And some of them, even as I was drawing them, I kind of ventured out and did different things that represented even people that have passed away in my life. Some of them have initials. It's just a way for me to kind of represent what I like, and wanted to remember them in a way that they were still kind of stuck in this little booklet. So again, more personal to me, but I still wanted you guys to see it. I followed the same type of font with the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and I abbreviated all of them, because sometimes you get really tired of writing Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Plus, I didn't want to make it bulkier. And then on the side of them, I did write the numbers. I didn't color them in. I felt like the little sugar skulls just had enough color for them after I colored everything in. And I divided everything with the lines, which I thought I wasn't going to do, but I think I have a really bad habit of going into spaces for my Mondays and Tuesdays, and like if I don't have the lines to separate everything, then I feel like I venture into other days and I don't need to be. So I need to just work on my list and make sure that they're in their designated spots. And that is just something that lines help me do, and they keep me separated. So I like doing this, and I think I learned this, and I should have kept it up with my March bullet journal when I did my butterflies that were flying away. I loved that they were separating each day, but then I venture into other weeks and I'm like, no, I can just take the lines off, and sometimes it doesn't help. But this is just something that works for me. It might not work for you, and you might not even need the lines. So it's just an option to think about. Sometimes you just have to work with what you have and see if it works for you or not. And I've learned that this year, that there are some things that do work for me and that don't work for other people. And there are some things that don't work for me that work for other people. And anyways, I'm venturing into other things. I did the little accent colors as well. And then I did leave a notes section because this week I do have a lot to do for next week. So I wanted to put it right there in my notes. Next is my quote, which is in Spanish. And it says, Al recordarte a ti, sigues vivo en mí, which translates to, by remembering you, you live in me. And that's it. That's my bullet journal. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope that you got a little insight of my culture and something that is really connected to me. This is my final flip through. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you haven't. Remember to hit the little bell so that you guys will get notified when I post. Remember, I'm posting this Saturday for week 2. So I'll see you guys then. Bye.